I think I always like to see which at which stage people made the change. There's always that one point in someone's life where they made a shift and started chasing their dreams or started fixing their life or whatever they're going through. Um, and it makes us better people. What was that like? Do you know what point that was for you?
Um,
Is there
I
any
wouldn't.
moment where you thought that actually was the pivotal moment of my life?
Yeah, no, I definitely say the moment. Well, there's two very crucial moments that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was one when I was 20 years old, and like I just signed to like this label in my city and all that, and I stopped going. That was when I stopped going to university. I was in university for 2 years. But
Oh,
then just being around like the guys I was around there, because the dude I was signed to, he's like one of the most successful artists to, like ever come out of my city and stuff. And just being around him and all the stuff he was showing me and like just how much he believed in me that I could do all the stuff that he had done to that point and him believing I could do more. Um, just really it really showed me like, okay, I think I can really do this. And also in that time period too, my cousin, his name's Alan Kingdom, and he's also an artist. Like he's gone to the Grammys with Kanye and all that. With this group, The Standard, they were at one point like one of the most buzzing groups in the U.S. And just seeing him because we grew up really like best friends. You know what I mean? Like that's my
mm-hmm.
brother, so we were really close family growing up, and just seeing him grow into that point where I saw him doing all those things too, it was like it made me realize like, yo, this is so real. Like it's so possible. Like people don't realize like this is somebody I grow up with, I talk to every week, like, and he's doing all this, like he's out here with DJ Khaled, like doing all this crazy stuff, you know. So it was like,
Yeah.
damn, you know, seeing that. And then
And was that in the early days, like on the come up when they were all on the come up? Not
yeah,
not Kanye. I guess he was like already
yeah.
up there, but Khaled maybe.
No, Khaled was actually established, but Khaled was like showing his
Okay.
group love. Like he even popped out
Mm.
for one of their shows, opened up for them. Like so, just seeing that, I was like, damn, like you know, like
Yeah.
that's crazy.
It, yeah, it
And
makes it real when there's it's happening so close to you. It's like within your family. Then.
yeah, yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
changes your perspective. And then another moment was like a couple years after that. I had a friend who's like we weren't that close then, but we were like cool enough that he pulled me to the side one day and he was like, man, like I've been watching you grind these last few years, and he's like, bro, I see how hard you go. And he's like, honestly, man, he's like, I think you have so much potential. He's like, I really think you could make it to that next level. He's just like, I feel like you just need like a little bit of guidance, like somebody to help like point you in that direction. And he's like, you know, like I'm not anybody special, but he's like, I feel like I understand music and all that stuff, like, and I'm just really passionate about it. And he's like, I think I
Mm.
could really help you. And so I started working really closely with him, and he was the one that he helped me like really sharpen my brand up, my branding into like just how I want to display myself to the public. All that, even when it came to how I write my music, like I would write songs, he would break them down for me and be like, yo, this is why this song's not gonna appeal to the mainstream or to this audience that you're trying to get to. Maybe you should try writing in this perspective, try to write about these things like this. and
Hmm.
and it was just those things that he just taught me and helped me with changed everything for me, and it
Yeah.
just changed the way I made my art, the way my brand was. And yeah, from there things just started going up in a whole nother direction, in a whole nother level. And yeah, that was, and I always tell him to this day, I'm like, man, if you didn't pull me to the side like that, like I don't know if I would have been able to do all this. It was like, yeah, I had the hunger, the work and all that, but you just pointing me in that direction, making me see things that I wasn't really seeing, changed everything. So that was
Right place,
another
right
moment.
time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But it's also an attitude thing, though. I mean, it's not that easy for a lot of people to accept criticism. Like, have you been good accepting criticism? Have you
Oh,
always been good at it, or?
yeah, no, definitely. Like since I was a kid too, because like one thing with me is like I've never been the kid who was like always just naturally good at stuff. Like I've always had to work hard at stuff. So when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to that, like even I remember when I used to play basketball and stuff, when I was in like freshman year of high school, I remember I got like the coaches award for my basketball team. And like some of my teammates were like, "Oh man, you just got that because you're a suck up," like da da da. And then
It's
like
smart to be a suck up sometimes. That's networking 101.
yeah, and it wasn't even I was being a suck up. They're just saying that like,
Yeah.
it's jokes, like you
Yeah,
teenagers, you know
yeah,
what I mean? They're like, why do you get this award? But
yeah.
I asked my coach really because I couldn't understand why I got it. Like I wasn't the best player on the team or anything like that. But he was like, man, if there's one thing I notice about you, he's like, you show up every day, you work extra hard, and you never complain like about
Mm,
anything. When somebody gives you advice, like, hey, because I remember even there was one game, it was a championship game for like just the regular season and before playoffs and all that. And then I didn't end up playing that game, and I don't even know why I didn't end up playing that game because I was like usually sixth man off the bench, seventh man. Like I was somebody who came into the game like, pretty early and all that.
mhm.
But for some reason that game he just didn't put me in. But I didn't say anything about it. I went to the next practice, just worked hard, and then playoffs came and I played in every single game, like every quarter. I played probably more minutes in the playoffs than I did in regular season. And he was like, man, the fact that you didn't complain, because he's like, I had other kids, their parents came to me. They're like, yeah, my kid, he's complaining,
Man,
he doesn't get to play. That, but he's like, you never said anything. You just came, you continue to work hard. And he's like, I can't not respect that, like not everybody's like that. And I was just like, man, I feel like if I didn't play, there's a reason I did it, and I'm just gonna work harder next time. I don't ever feel entitled to anything. And so yeah, I've just always carried that attitude everywhere I go.
yeah, it makes sense. I mean, when you look at it objectively, what's complaining gonna change for real?
Yeah,
Not like you can't turn the time back, and also apparently you see something that's not right, the coach.
yeah, you
We had
know.
someone in the class who was the opposite in the basketball team. He was the only reason he was put on the bench, and he never even played. He played like 2 minutes in the whole season, I think, was
Mhm.
because his parents kept complaining to the coach that he was never in the team, that he wasn't even accepted to the basketball team. So he was like, "I'm gonna put you here to get your mom off my back,"
Yeah.
and he was still complaining, like some.
Mhm.
Like, gotta count your blessings that you're here anyway.
Yeah, and that's the thing
If
my
he's
parents
hearing
have
this, he
always
knows who he is. But
yeah, and that's
yeah,
another thing, just like the way my parents taught me. They're like, for everything in this life, you gotta work. You gotta work for it. Like
yeah,
nobody's gonna just give you anything, like, and that's just something I've always just kept. Like I don't expect anybody to give me anything. If I didn't get it, I didn't work hard enough for it, and
hmm
that's just what it is.